இனிமே கண்ணை மூடிட்டு கடலை எண்ணெய் வாங்கலாம். ஏன்னா மந்த்ரா கடலை எண்ணெய் இதயத்தின் தயாரிப்பு.
அருள் பெரும் ஜோதி, அருள் பெரும் ஜோதி, தனி பெரும் கருணை, அருள் பெரும் ஜோதி. மதிப்பிற்குரிய மத்திய அமைச்சர் டாக்டர் எல் முருகன் அவர்களே, மரியாதைக்குரிய திரு பி பிரபாகரன் அவர்களே, திரு கிர்லோஸ் குமார் அவர்களே, திரு ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் அவர்களே, அனைத்து பக்தர்களே, மரியாதைக்குரிய அடைப்பாளர்களே, அனைவரும் வணக்கம். Today, on this auspicious occasion of 200th anniversary of Thiru Arut Prakash Vallalar, I extend my warmest greetings and best wishes to everyone. It's a day when we feel blessed. When I got to know after, I must say that coming to Tamil Nadu has been a divine blessing for me, because so far I have been wandering only in the remote areas of either Jammu and Kashmir or Northeast, or maybe the Maoist infested area of central India, and dealing with people who have been challenging the territorial integrity of this Bharat Mata by violence. Coming to this place has been an altogether new experience. Exposed to the elements of Tamil history, Tamil literature, Tamil inscriptions, Tamil folklores and folk tales. It has been a hugely rewarding experience for me. An immensely rich language, and to my understanding, other than Sanskrit, no other language can stand anywhere close to it. Rich in expression, rich in bhava, and intensely deep in philosophy. And in the course of it, in course of my introducing myself to this rich heritage, I got to know about this great divine soul, Thiru Vallalar, and his famous quote, very, very famous quote, "Vaadiya pairai kandu podhellam vaadinen." It's immediately it struck in me a chord that such a great sage, such a great rishi or siddhar born on this place, making it holy, is to be celebrated, is to be felicitated, and is to be followed in our day-to-day life. And when I got to know that providentially the 200th anniversary is falling today, then we didn't like to lose the opportunity, and perhaps it is his wish. He wanted me to do it, he wanted us to be party to it, and that is why we did it. This Vallalar, of course, he was a supreme divine soul. But who he was and what he did, it has hugely shaped the idea and identity of our country, Bharat. We know, though some people don't know, but we know by and large that this country, Bharat, is unique. This country, Bharat, is not a mere political state. This country, Bharat, does not fit entirely into the European definition of a political state, like a territory, population, a government, and government being sovereign. No. It is much more than that. This Bharat, which is a Rashtra, and what is a Rashtra can be understood if we come close to Bharat. When our country became independent and our constitution makers were struggling to give us a document, at that point of time, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, he knew that over centuries of European British education, our people have been intellectually removed from ourself, from our root. And we started looking at ourselves and our country the way the British looked at it. They called us India. They called our country India, and they called us Indian. Before the British came, nobody of this place, this country, called it India. Look into the literature right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Kutch to Kamru. Bharat is known. People know Bharat. Because Bharat lives in the day-to-day life. Unconsciously, subconsciously. So Bharat, which defines this Rashtra, a country, if you call it country, which was not a creation of one king or queen. Because in the European notion of a state, a Bahubali, a ruler with a military power, captures a territory, consolidates it, and that becomes a country, a state. Bharat was never, ever ruled by one ruler through its entire length and breadth. It was ruled by numerous kings, and yet the people from one end to the other, they believed they were part of a family. When my grandmother over 100 years ago, 120 years ago, when she came to Rameshwaram and Kanchipuram, Dwarka, all these places she visited, she must have crossed through so many kingdoms, so many domains of so many rajas. She was unmindful. She didn't know how many kings or who was the king. She traveled all the way for thousands of kilometers, and there were facilities all around for the travelers, for the pilgrims to stay, to rest and recuperate. to have meal, and then when feel comfortable, re-energize, resume the journey, resume the pilgrimage. They were not aware of they were passing through which kingdom or which king. This society, this Bharat, as a Rashtra, as a Kudumbam, it was one. Now, this cannot be understood with the perspective of India. And that is why Baba Sahib, while drafting the constitution, the very first article he mentioned, he realized there was a need to introduce our people to Bharat. India needed an introduction. And so the first article says, India, that is Bharat. But what is Bharat? This Bharat has to be understood because unfortunately we have not done enough, or we have hardly done anything to bring it in our textbook to our students to know what is Bharat. This Bharat, which was not built by any king or any ruler, but built by its rishis and siddhas. They built it over a philosophy, over a darshan. Philosophy, of course, is not the appropriate word for it because a basis of philosophy is logic, whereas darshan is far more than that. But for lack of word, I use the word philosophy. Darshan, which was elaborated, which was revealed by our rishis several thousand years ago. And it was first documented in the Vedas, which had fundamental truth. There is one creator, one supreme God, Parameshwara, which even great Tiruvalluvar tells in the first Kural. That the Parameshwara, the Adi Bhagavan, created this world, and having created, is present in every element of creation. Now, being present in every element of creation is a manifestation of the same divine. And so the entire creation becomes a family, a kudumbam. From that very concept, that very philosophy, we got Yadu Mure Yavarum Kelir, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. When it says Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu, the divine in me, like me, the whole, not only humans, Sarva Bhutesu, all beings. Be it plant, be it animals, be it humans, we are all manifestation of the same divine. Now this unique and all-inclusive universal darshan philosophy, when it was revealed by our rishis and siddhas, this philosophy has spread over the piece of land. When it has spread, it has started shaping our behavior, our conduct, our day-to-day affairs, how we conduct our affairs to ourselves, to our family, to our society. And that is why in any of the sampradaya of Bharat that originated from here, it reflects that oneness. It has its own way of expression, its own way of conducting rituals, but at the root of it is the same non-violence, the same oneness of all. And the land over which this light is spread, this prakash is spread, that land became Bharat. Bharat, Sanskrit word, its origin, that's what I believe. Its origin is Bharat. Bha is a root of light, and Rat is one embraced. The land embraced with the land and the people, embraced with that light, that we are all one. And geographic expanse of it is mentioned in our ancient scriptures that says, Uttaram yat samudrasya himadrishya eva dakshinam varsham tad bharatam nama santati yatra bharati yatra santati. Land from the ocean to the Himalayas is the land which is Bharat, where the light has spread, the light of oneness. And its children are Bharati. We may be speaking various languages. We may be, it is an immense diversity. I don't think there is any country in the world that can claim to have as many diversities as Bharat has. Be in terms of language, in terms of costumes, in terms of customs, in terms of cuisine, in terms of regional variation, geography. With all these variations, this is one family. What Mahakavi Bharati said, when it came to language, he said, Bharat Mata, Sepu Modi Padane Tudiyal, and Il Chintanai Ondri Udiyal. We speak multiple languages, but our heartbeat is one. This Bharat has to be understood by our people today. That this is not a conglomeration of various linguistic groups. We are all organically connected. We are all a family. It is not a conglomeration of diverse geographies. It is a family with immense diversity. A family is like a tree, a huge tree with millions of leaves, hundreds and thousands of branches. No two branches is alike, no two leaves are alike, and yet they are all integrally, organically connected. This notion of being oneness has come from this light. And so who built this Bharat? This Bharat was built by Siddhar and rishis like Vallalar. We have, even in Rajbhavan, I have seen in all places, we have a number of statues. Statues of leaders who contributed politically in getting us independence. But political description of a state is incomplete. It is not enough. It is not sufficient. It is only a part of it. It is not the soul of it. After all, what was that? When in 1905, when the British partitioned Bengal on the ground of religion, Muslim Bengal and Hindu Bengal, at that point of time, there was no coordinated national freedom movement. Mahatma Gandhi was nowhere on the scene. And yet, when 1905, when the British did in Bengal, the entire Bharat revolted. Here, Bhau Chidambaram Pillai took to the streets. People resented. They were seething. When Jallianwala Bagh happened, people like Thiru Kamaraj, he took to the street. A young person, who had his career ahead, but he renounced that career. Now, what was that? It happened in Bengal. Why should people of this land get agitated? Why should people of, let's say, now it was a Madras state at that point of time. Why should Maharashtra people, why should Gujarat people, why should Punjab people get agitated? They did look at themselves like, we are from Tamil Nadu or we are from Karnataka or Maharashtra. It was a family. It was not acceptable. Communal partition, division of a state, even though it was not separated from Bharat, yet the people did not accept the very idea of it. But the question that haunts me, and I think the question which has not yet been answered and properly researched it, what happened 42 years later, when 1905, when the British did, the agitation, the protest went on all over the country, so much so that eventually, 6 years later, they had to undo the partition. Again, the Bengal was made one. But hardly 40 years later, when the country was partitioned, nothing happened. Something happened in this period that we lost. That sense that a part of our being was being cut off. It didn't cause us pain. The pain that our people felt in 1905. That aside, so this Bharat, to understand Bharat, we have to understand. We have to understand great souls like Vallalar. His teachings. This year, we all know that we hosted G20 presidency. The leaders of the world, they assembled in Delhi. And what was the theme of it? The theme of it was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Again, the same theme. We are all family, universal oneness. This philosophy, this darshan, which Vallalar gave, is the core of Sanatana Adhyatma, Sanatana Dharma. People have distorted. Some of them could be mischievous, some others could be out of ignorance. We do not know. Discrimination of any kind, a darshan, a dharma, an adhyatma that believes. When Vallalar says, Vadiya Pairi Kand Pode Lam Vadinen, when he can feel the heartbeat of a leaf of grass, then when a leaf of grass suffer pain, his heart pains. When this is the essence of Sanatana, how can there be a discrimination between human beings? These were impurities, diseases that crept in out of human weaknesses and that needed correction. And there have been attempts in the past to correct from time to time. In fact, one of the first revolt against rigid Sanatana was by Rishabdev. He said no, because they started killing too many animals during pujas. I said, no, this is not acceptable. Killing animals, violence is against Sanatana. When we say, Mam Atma Sarva Bhutatma, my Atma is the Atma of all the Jiva, all the Bhuta. Jiva Karunya is built in it. How can there be a Hinsa, a Bali? And they were the first to revolt it, and they brought the reform. Again, impurities crept in, and then came Bhagwan Buddha, another reformer. He also rebelled, he also reformed. From time to time, people have come. There was a great saint here, Ramanujacharya, who also came as a rebel to reform the society. These impurities, we are in a living society, is a living body. We are all living people. We need to keep ourselves clean on a day-to-day basis. We cannot live, impurities in us is not a part of us. Chennai is a beautiful city, but in Chennai we also have gutters. We also have swamps. Now gutters and swamps cannot define the beauty of Chennai. It is a home of intellectuals, it's a home of artists, it's a home of philosophers, it's a home of spiritual leaders. So impurities cannot define. Impurities have to be corrected, have to be eradicated, have to be cleansed. So those who define Sanatana in terms of this division and social discrimination, I do not know what to tell about them. Fortunately, I being a Sanatani, I cannot even say that they are not us, because there is no other in Sanatana. Even if a person who abuses me, I have to accept him or her, because that is what Sanatana is. Now, at a time when this country, Bharat, is moving forward, the world expectation is rising. Expectations from Bharat is rising. People have realized the world over that the existing world order, based on military and money power, is not sustainable. Environment is in crisis. People are at war. The solution is the light that Bharat gives. And this was the light that when Rishi Aurobindo on 15th of August 1947, when our country became independent, Rishi Aurobindo jotted down some prophetic dreams. He said, now the moment has come. The moment has come. He says that in the entire universe, Earth is the only planet where life is in an evolutionary state. Consciousness is in an evolutionary state. Jada, Chetan, Jiva, Manushya. It is at a different various stages of evolution. Evolution towards the higher order. And on this planet, evolutionary planet, Bharat is the only country where this light came several thousand years ago, that we are all one. We are all one family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This light, Bharat, it is a Bharat's duty. It's a Bharat's divinely mandated duty to spread this light to the whole of the world. To save the world, to save the humanity. To save the climate, to save our Mother Earth, which is heating up because of our reckless treatment of it. And for that, for light to spread, we have to be capable. We have to be samarth. We have to be self-reliant, because unless you are capable, people don't listen to you. Today the world is listening. When Bharat had that theme of G20, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, nobody raised a murmur. They all came. For the first time, all the leaders of the world, who otherwise they are politically at war with each other, they don't see eye to eye, they all agreed to a common consensus declaration. All the 83 paras, they all agreed. This is the beauty, because Sanatana is all inclusive, because we framed it in a language, we framed it with a bhava, with a philosophy that had no room for exclusion. There has no room for you or I, it is us. We are on one family, the world is a family. And now that the world is moving, when Bharat is moving forward. And moving forward in the domain of material progress, in the domain of science and technology, in domain of economy. Today we are the 5th largest economy in the world. And of course the fastest growing, the largest economy. And we are poised to be among the top 3 in coming a few years. Why we know in the domain of science and technology we are among the top 3? We have to have this spiritual resurgence that defines Bharat. That spiritual resurgence, minus that, if we do not have it, we will be a poor imitation of the West. That will not save the world. That is not Bharat is. Bharat has to grow holistically. Bharat has to grow in domain of science and technology. Bharat has to grow in domain of economy. But Bharat also has to grow it's a spiritual domain. The spiritual domain that is defined essentially by the Sanatana Dharma, that we are all one family. And today, we have fortunately a national leader who looks at the country as one family. And looking at it as one family, there is no discrimination between states depending on their political disposition. Because political differences apart, every Bharatiya is a member of a family. One family. And when we have a large family, if a problem is faced by one member of the family, it is not the problem of that member, it is the problem of the whole family. With this outlook, now the country's problems are being addressed. And we are seeing the miracle. We are seeing the changes, revolutionary transformation which is happening today. And in this revolutionary transformation, for our spiritual resurgence, for awareness about who we are. We are a kutumbam, a family. Not only humans, but also animals and plants. In this, who could be a better guide, a better icon to inspire us, to guide us on a day-to-day than Vallalar? And that is why we thought we will place him here in the Raj Bhavan to bless the Raj Bhavan, occupants of the Raj Bhavan, to bless the visitors to the Raj Bhavan, and keep guiding all of us about who we are and what we are supposed to do. And with this, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that all these different various groups and associations who have been doing yeoman service to the society, those who are Vallalar related to larger Vallalar family, they have been doing so much to the people silently, without any fuss, without any noise, doing such great work. We thought, if they have having come over here and blessed us, blessed the occasion, we are grateful and thankful to all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All the best. Thank you. Jai Bharat.